Hi, I'm Dia Mirza, and I'm very grateful to be a part of the Sikh Sanctuary Talks put together by Book My Show and Sanctuary Nature Foundation in commemoration of 50 years of Earth Day. I want to start with saying that this is very daunting because the list of speakers who are connecting with all of you through these talks are extraordinary human beings, scientists, thinkers, leaders in their respective fields. And I have great respect for all of them, and I've been watching their talks, and I feel so enriched by every single talk so far. I also want to say that Swati is a very tough act to follow, and I hope that I can share some of my experiences with you that will help you understand why I believe we are one world and one people. I'll start at the beginning. I was born in Hyderabad and raised in Hyderabad, and much of my early years, my childhood, was spent in an environment that fostered a deep, abiding relationship and connection with nature. It's possible that that happened because at the time Hyderabad was not the metropolis that it has become today. It was a place, a city that had large open spaces, lots of nature and biodiversity, surrounding communities and homes. And in fact, the home that I grew up in my early years was one that was in this area called Banjara Hills, and there were these old rocks, I mean millions of years old, large rocks, and lots of trees and streams and birds, and so much so that there would be times when Mama and I would be swinging in the hammock in the garden outside, and these two cobras would slide by or just pass us by, and I would kind of look at them and exclaim, "Mama, look!" And she would be like, "Shh, let them go." And so there was this acceptance and this interaction with nature all the time. And I think it was also the fact that I went to this school called Vidyaranya, which means Forest of Education. And the philosophy that my principal, Shanta Rameshwar Rao, ran this school with was the understanding that children need to grow in an environment that is free of fear, where there is no, competition. Kids, we were all encouraged to spend a lot of time outdoors, playing sport, doing classes under big trees, working with our hands. So there was a lot of pottery and craft and painting and all of these, and growing, food, composting. But one of the most wonderful part of this school experience was the fact that school assemblies weren't the typical school assemblies. So we would have these conversations led by our teachers that would encourage us to think and question and ask. And one such conversation was about consumerism and what consumerism, human consumerism, was doing to the planet. I suppose that a lot of these conversations took place in school and at home, and we were encouraged to, really connect with nature and spend time outdoors, because the alarm bells for climate change had started to ring in the 80s. In fact, I think the first report, if I'm not wrong, was published in 1980, 81. And something like even Project Tiger, when Project Tiger was established, somebody had come to school to do this talk on Project Tiger, and I remember collecting money for Project Tiger, and I went about, demanding of all my, family and friends and my parents' friends the 50 rupees, because I believed at the time that their one, 50 rupee note would save a tiger. So there was a lot of talk and understanding that was encouraged and imbibed in us, to understand that we were not just citizens of our city or our community or our country, but we were citizens of the planet. And the planet was experiencing crisis. especially the natural world, and that crisis was leading to human crisis. And that connection was taught to us through our formative years, our early years. Much like all of us, many of us, life takes over, ambition takes over, the desire to go out and earn money and make a living took over, and I was like any other young person in the pursuit of a career. And that career brought me to Mumbai, and I started living here. And in the early part of my career, I started working very closely with non-government organizations and communities that would reach out to me for my help and my assistance in advocacy work. And while I was working with these organizations, I discovered that a lot of the problems that people were facing, especially with health-related issues, were directly connected to the environment. And specifically, my work with the Cancer Patients Aid Association, when I used to talk to the doctors and talk to the community that was supporting cancer patients, especially children and women and people who were coming from different parts of the country to get cancer treatment in Mumbai, I discovered that they were suffering because of environmental degradation. The quality of soil that the food was being produced in, the quality of water that we were drinking, the quality of air that we were breathing, all of this was impacting health and was leading to diseases. And it was at this time that I started wondering why more people in the mainstream media were not aligning themselves and connecting with our natural defenders, people who were working towards protecting, conserving the environment. And that's when I very doggedly pursued Mr. Bittu Sehgal. And I happened to meet him while I was doing this wonderful program with NDTV called the Tiger-thon, where we were raising money for our forest rangers and obviously improving awareness on the fact that we needed to protect natural habitat, tiger habitat, in order to protect our tigers. And during this Tiger-thon, I had the opportunity to visit a forest for the first time. Yes, in my adult life, I think at the age of 22 or 23 was the first time I went to a real forest in India. And I'll never forget, this was in Pench, Madhya Pradesh. And everything that I had grown up learning and understanding and appreciating just came back to me like that. And the sense of center, the sense of calm, the sense of ease, the sense of wonder, the sense of just being awake in every moment was so compelling during this time in the forest. And I was just in awe of every moment spent in the wild. Of course, the first tiger sighting, but everything else that supported the biodiversity, the tiger's forest, every element, every person connected with it, all of it just called out to me deeply. And I thought to myself, this is what I've been missing. I grew up so connected and so close to nature through my early life, that in my early adult life, somewhere I had disconnected myself from this that makes me feel alive and purposeful and happy. And that was it. I came back from this Tiger-thon and I met Mr. Bittu Sehgal and I said, I have to work with you. I want to learn more. I want to do more, because it is absolutely unacceptable to me that we are such a biodiverse and rich nation, rich country, and we cannot afford to lose more of what we have, because everything that supports our life, our livelihood, our well-being, our health is connected to our natural environments, our biodiversity, our forests, the species that are abundant in our country. What can I do? How can I help? And he is, of course, one of the most remarkable human beings, and I think he's a mentor, and he's been a mentor to so many people, and I'm so proud and privileged to call him a mentor, because what he did to me was he saw in me the love that I feel for the natural world and this understanding of our connection with the natural world. And he very quickly kind of just took me in, and embraced this love that I have, and nurtured my journey and helped me understand what the Kids for Tigers program was, encouraged me to start working with children. And the more I learned, the more I was able to communicate. And the more I communicated and the more I interacted with the forest rangers, forest officers, children, the more I went into the wild, the more I visited forests, the more I understood our connection and how important it was for us to secure our natural world. And it was through this time that I discovered another remarkable human being, Vivek Menon, the CEO of Wildlife Trust of India. And with Vivek, I started on a journey where I did more work in, of course, not just taking more people to the forest with Club Nature, but also while we were taking more people to the forest, so that, there's nothing like the lessons of joy and love and beauty that nature can teach us. I mean, I can sit here and talk to you about my love for the wild, but you have to go there. You have to interact with the wild. You have to be in natural environments to genuinely understand how we are a part of it and not apart from it. And so we started taking CEOs from all over India into the wild. And it was amazing and remarkable to see how committed they quickly became to conserve and protect wildlife, how committed they became to encourage more people in their community and their sphere of influence to become more proactive about defending our natural defenders. And this journey then led to becoming a part of the United Nations Environment Program. Again, interacting with the brightest minds in the world, getting access to the science, getting a better and a deeper understanding of the connection between human health and biodiversity, and the need to protect biodiversity and bring balance back into the natural world so that we can all live healthier, better, more meaningful lives, more balanced lives. And then, of course, came the opportunity to be the Sustainable Development Goals advocate. And I'm going to end this talk, because I have just 15 minutes with you, with this thought that the Sustainable Development Goals have taught me that we have the science, the technology, the solutions, and the opportunity to truly build back a better world. A world that learns and knows how to live in perfect harmony with nature, to coexist with all the biodiversity and the species that we must understand are as essential to our lives and our well-being as they are to the rest of the natural world. And I think maybe somewhere we've forgotten that we are connected with nature because we've moved so far away from nature. In this growth of the way the world has grown, urbanization and globalization, and this consumerist lifestyles that we lead, I think it's taken away from this simple understanding that our ancestors had, which is why perhaps they worshipped all natural elements and worshipped nature, that we are a part of this ecosystem and we are not above it and we are not beyond it. And I think if there's one thing this pandemic has taught us is that we're not above nature. The entire world is in lockdown. No one is excluded from the suffering and the misery and the pain and the anguish that this invisible virus has caused us, that scientists have been warning us about for a very long time. But I do believe that human beings are a remarkable species. Yes, sometimes we may think that we are all too powerful, we can control everything. But I think if there is one thing that this pandemic has taught us, it's the fact that we are not in control of everything, but we can definitely be in control of our actions and our choices. There are many things that I've learned along the way, but I think the one thing that this pandemic has taught me is to make me even more resolute towards my commitment, towards supporting all those organizations and individuals that are protecting wildlife, our environment, are working towards regenerating biodiversity, supporting all that policy and all those choices that help us give back to nature and help nature do the magic that she does. Look around you. The skies are blue again. India has 14 of the 21 most polluted cities in the world. And since this lockdown, the air quality level has been so good, much better than it's been in years. People are listening to birdsong again. We're seeing wildlife come back and occupy spaces that were only occupied by human beings. And I think as we all kind of stay inside, stay at home, we're getting the chance to witness how by just taking this pause, nature is coming back. Rivers are cleaner now than they've been in a very long time. And this, I think, is a phenomenal indicator of the fact that when we allow nature to thrive, we thrive. And when we give nature the opportunity to do the magic that she does, which is to support life, to create beauty, to give us clean air, clean food, health and opportunity, we can truly move forward and live and thrive and reduce inequality and make this world a more equitable, more inhabitable, more fair, more wonderful world to live in. Because the fact is that this is one planet and we are one people and this is one world and we're all equal citizens of this world and we all deserve the richness and the beauty and the abundance that this beautiful blue planet provides us all for free. Thank you for watching.